Joining us now, not only alongside the Ohioan of all Ohioans, AJ Hawk, it is the reigning, defending, undisputed MVP of the NFL. A man who's staring down a bye week here because their team is seated so high, they got home field advantage and a week to chill to maybe make the toe, which is no longer an issue, even less of an issue around the rest of the team. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk and Aaron. AJ's gone?
No AJ.
There's full panic in the back. I didn't know what was going on.
AJ's pooping right now, I think.
Oh, my God. Hawk. I hope he goes to the bathroom. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah! Is he okay? What do you think's going on with AJ, Aaron?
Oh, I don't know. He's usually constipated. And if anybody that knows him well knows that he can do multiple segments in a show with, a 64-ounce soda drink underneath his desk or whatever he's doing and piss, 4 or 5 times probably. So,
is he actually doing that? I always wondered and assumed that is the case because he has made the joke before. And ladies and gentlemen, joining us, the man who is probably peeing underneath his desk as we speak. Attaboy, AJ.
Attaboy,
AJ.
I don't know what happened, man. That was my first call, Z.
Attaboy, Aaron. Hey, AJ. Welcome back, dude.
Aaron, are you mad when I know you've had private conversations where you told me that Ben stole that from you. Are you upset at that?
This is his attempt at a comeback. Can't get me, though, bro.
No, can't get him. Can't get him.
I'm like Chuck Berry, man. You try and hold me down, you can't get me there.
Oh, jeez. All right, yeah, you appeased AJ there with your answer. Obviously, took that a little toxic, had to do it. Let's dive right into the subject that everybody wants to hear about, okay? There was a leaked piece of information from an inside source that Boomer Esiason and Gio, Boomer, by the way, the hardest working human on earth.
By far.
I have never seen anybody like it or anything like it. We can only hope to one day work as hard as Boomer Esiason. Anyways, he and Gio broke some news from a trusted source, is how it was described, that Aaron Rodgers is ready because his 90-day window of not getting tested comes back right before the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers is ready to hold the NFL hostage unless they change the rules going forward. He has already told Jordan Love to get your ass ready.
That's right.
Hey, I'm Aaron Rodgers. I worked my ass off this season to get to a Super Bowl, something in which I'm judged about every single day. Once we get here, hey, Jordan, you're the fucking quarterback now, dude. I'm going to get out of here. That was read on air. That took over the entire internet. You answered, obviously, in the way that you answered. My question is this. Why do you think that is even something that is believable to them to read onto air? Legitimately, what do you think it is? Do you think it's because there's people with an axe to grind against you? Do you think it's because the narrative for so long? Why was that something that was even like, hey, this could be real, you think?
I mean, you have to bring all the possibilities into place. Ratings, we need more ratings. It's become, fairly standard. Mention me in the same sentence and use tag words like doctor or Joe Rogan or ivermectin or COVID or fill in the blank, COVID toe, and you're gonna get some ratings. And like I said, I've given a lot less fucks the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But one thing I do give a major fuck about is narratives about me, especially ones that are so ridiculously off base. And this one was pure comedy for me. But when pure comedy turns into like more reputable, and I say slightly more reputable news outlets who then mention that to where it becomes even a bigger story, I just felt like it was time to to end that. And we had some fun. Kurt Bankert, and then J-Lo jumped in, and we had a good time with that. Matt Flynn jumped in afterwards. But I mean, look, let me just say this, and I know he used direct circle instead of inner circle. Maybe there's a delineation between the two. No one in my inner circle, okay, is talking to the media. No one no one that I trust and care about and have conversations with is talking to any media member, is going to like leak anything. I told AJ this too, of like, I like to have a good sense of humor and joke around and stuff. That topic that was brought up is so ridiculously stupid. It's even past the point of you would never even joke about that. Like, do I have an issue with some of the protocols? Of course. But I would never even joke about this. The dumbest fucking thing. It's so dumb, I wouldn't even joke about it. That's how dumb it is. Like, so there couldn't be anybody in my inner circle, in my direct circle, in the circle after that, who would ever have, like, any bit of information to go, oh, this one time, you may have been joking about it. Remember that one time you said COVID toe on the McAfee Show? And then we wrote about it as being true? Same situation we can do here. What if we just say he's going to boycott the Super Bowl? I mean, how fucking stupid is that? That's as dumb as you could possibly imagine. And I told J-Lo, hey, J-Lo, by the way, in 5 weeks, if we make the Super Bowl, and have this amazing run, be ready. I mean, it's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Luckily, we had a blast with it. We had so much fun. Kurt was amazing. J-Lo jumped in. Flinny jumped in. But come on now. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like, they even go on the air with that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like it was believed. It almost seems like they wanted parts of it to be true somehow.
It's unreal. I mean, come on. Like,
how do you know? Hey, but how do you know which ones you're going to address and which ones you don't address? Because you can't go after all of them, and there's always asinine things out there.
I don't want to go, but to say some asinine stuff like that, I mean, deserves a response.
Have you reached out to try to see? Couldn't you reach out to him and say, "Hey, who is this source? I think I would like to know who it is, so you can't trust this person."
I mean, I'd love to say the source.
Well, that never happens. I mean, that's not how. Except for you with Dr. Joe Rogan.
I'd love to know who this person in my direct circle was.
Right, Alex Jones, probably.
Or Joe. Maybe it's Dahn. Maybe it's Dahn. Okay, cool. I'm happy we addressed it. Obviously, what I'm saying, though, and the way I asked that question was, I can't believe that somebody believed it enough to report it, though. Like, and that is an issue, I think, in the grander scheme. Like, people at some point, even after 2 years.
Well, there's multiple sources, Pat. There are multiple sources in my direct circle. I'm like, come on, man. Why would I play to the majority of people in a meaningless Week 18 game?
Oh yeah.
And then what I care about and train for in the off season and focus on during the season and manifest thoughts to my teammates to have this on our mind, winning a Super Bowl. You think I would do all that and play in a meaningless game to most people in Week 18 and then boycott the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
You don't know me. And that's my hope. Whether you're Pornhub or whoever this person my direct circle is, you don't know me. You don't know me, so stop talking as if you do know me or you have some sort of idea.
Hey, all right, dude. Hey, I'm happy you got that. Hey, that had to feel pretty good. That had to feel pretty good getting out there. And whoever did this or, has maybe a false narrative about you, about preconceived notions from years ago before listening to you, literally, hey, we just finished another season of you stopping by every single day off for like an hour every single time. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Love you, Aaron.
And there was a lot of people that went to your to bat for you that probably wouldn't have in the past before the show, and they said, do you not listen to this dude ever on Tuesdays because you have been a pretty open book with us, I think. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure if any. There's always been weekly interviews that people do with either local radio. We're very lucky that we get to do it on the internet with a broader audience of people that are around the world. This has always happened. I don't know if those local radios or anywhere else, and there's a lot of very talented people, I'm not sure, but it's on the player to do the other end of it. You have been very transparent with us like this entire time, and I think a lot of people have learned a lot about you. So we appreciate the hell out of you, dude, and I'm happy you just told somebody to go fuck themselves without even knowing who it is, because I like that too. I like doing that every once in a while. Hey, go fuck whoever did this whole thing. Let's move on to this Week 18 meaningless game. Hey, the big giraffe was back out there. Maul and Bakhtiari's back traveling. He's making interesting, awesome videos to announce he's back. And how do you think he fit in? Were you happy for him? Why did you choose to play as much as you did? I mean, you played a lot longer, I think, than some of us thought. There was other teams that had like one series and went back, one play and went back so they could keep this consecutive starts going. That was Kelsey, shout out. And there was others that did that as well for incentives. Why'd you want to continue to play, and what was it like to have the big giraffe back out there at left tackle?
It was great having him back. It's fun to run out on the field with him. He's got a very recognizable jog slash, lope that he has. But it was so fun being back out there. We had a conversation midweek last week, and he was really on the fence, maybe thinking he wasn't going to play. And I said, look, I'm going to play. Josh is going to play. What if you went out there and you felt good Thursday at practice? What if you went out there and played some plays? And I think he kind of wrapped his head around that, and hopefully he didn't feel any extra pressure from me. But I'm so happy that he got to play in that game. He played, I think, 28 snaps. Seemed like on the field in game, and going back and watching it, he played really well. We were laughing because last week he was telling me early in the week, like Monday or Tuesday, he was saying, when I was like, man, you got to play. This is before I kind of pushed him. He was like, you're playing so good. You're hitting the ball out. I don't want to come back and you to think you could hold on to the ball now because I'm in there. I said, I won't be 100% myself yet. And I said, okay. And then, I had a play where I kind of looked left, looked right, ran left, ran up to the right, got some yardage, and I was walking back to the huddle, and all I see is the big giraffe just shaking his head at me. And I know he's thinking, what are you doing? Didn't we talk about this? Get rid of the football. So it was good having him back. But it was good having Josh out there for the first half as well. He's been out a number of weeks with his knee injury. That's why I wanted to be out there. I mean, not just to, be out there with Tay, get him the record, but those – having Josh and Dave back, I needed to feel kind of the urgency and the energy on the field, and everything picks up as the season goes on, and the tempo kind of picks up a little bit as we get into the playoffs as well. So I think it was great for Dave to play, great for Josh to play. They both came out healthy, it seems like, and they both played well.
Hey, what do you think of two of your offensive coaches being interviewed by the Broncos for head coaching opportunities? You happy for these guys? And are we trying to say, all right, they're trying to clear the path to get you to Denver?
Oh, jeez. There it is.
I knew, we talked last night. I knew you were going to say, some sort of trying to get some speculation. But, I also talked to Marquez yesterday about Scantling, and he gave me, a few of my teammates dabble in the fashion industry, right? They got their own clothing lines. You got Alan Lazard with the ATT, and I've worn the Bobby Tunyon, Big Bob Tunyon, his construction sweatshirts, Tunyon family. And Marquez gave me this hat. He has a brand called Successful Innovative Kings, SIK.
Ooh, that's sick, dude.
Sick. And I told him I would wear the beanie on the McAfee Show and try and say something really controversial to get the most amount of attention. So people wonder what that brand is. As a little thank you for, him being a friend and a great teammate. I'm not going to with my answer to this question, but I did want to give a shout out to Quez and the Sick brand.
So now's the time to give the answer, right? Now would be the time in your brain the way you thought.
Aren't you happy for these guys getting an interview?
Hey.
That's what I'm getting to, bro.
Oh, okay.
I'm very happy for these guys. I'm happy anytime we get guys on our staff with opportunities. We got a great staff on both sides of the ball, and I'm really happy for Nathaniel. I mean, I think he's this is a little overdue, to be honest. I mean, I think he's been around the game for a long time. What he did in Jacksonville, I think, was pure magic. Getting them within a quarter of the Super Bowl was incredible. He's a great coach. I love spending time with him. He's a fantastic teacher. He's incredible in front of the room, and I'm really happy for him. And Luke Getsy as well. He's about a month younger than me, so that's pretty awesome, for him to get that opportunity. But he's been around the game for a long time. He was, in the QB room and the receiver room, back in the, then he went down to college and was offensive coordinator. in the SEC and then came back. He's been in our room for 3 years now. He's a fantastic coach. He's a really good teacher of the game. I'm excited for him as well. It's great when our guys get opportunities. There's other guys on the staff that probably deserve opportunities too, not just for head coach, but for coordinator positions. So the most important thing is to have a stable of coaches where if you have a guy that gets an opportunity, you can have a guy fill in. And I think we're starting to get there with some of the guys we got in assistant positions. The guy that wears no Gutchies, in the offensive line room, I think
Boycott him.
Has an opportunity to. He definitely does. An opportunity to to lead a room at some point. Ravel Martin, former player and teammate of mine, is helping out in the receiver room. He's a fantastic young coach, and Connor Lewis as well, who's done analytics for a long time. Now he's helping out with special teams. He'll get an opportunity at some point. So that's the key. You have to have coaches who are ready and waiting when some of the established guys get opportunities.
Hey, Aaron, it seems as if LaFleur has just done a fantastic job as a head coach. And when he was hired and everything you do is speculated upon, it became a big story. And obviously the first year, Dahn years for you, are career years for other people. And there was audible moments in which they're saying, oh, Aaron's not letting LaFleur do his job. Or Aaron has played quarterback at this place for a long time. Maybe he should say, like, hey, maybe if I could change something, we should do it. You guys have that Zoom call where you want in the offseason, or numerous Zoom calls where you all got on the same page. And you say that he's incredible at delegating work alongside his assistants. And he has this incredible record, win-loss, but he doesn't really get as much credit because he has a GOAT playing quarterback for him actively. What do you think it is about LaFleur that makes him a good head coach? And how do you think like Getsy or any of these other guys will be as a head coach? Because I think you just went in there, they can lead a room and everything like that. There's a lot of bad hires that happen. How the fuck did the Packers strike gold with LaFleur, you think? And what has he done as a young coach in his first job that has really made it an easy transition? Because a lot of people stink whenever they get in their head coaching jobs.
Well, a lot of that is that it's the one-off of nepotism. It's a who do you know business so often, and if you have on a kind of a list of people who can vouch for you as being a good coach, and they're all close friends who've been around the game forever, your reference list, that evokes some of this nepotism that exists. To get guys who still get jobs, who might, the word is kind of out there, but not out there enough to where it stops them from getting these opportunities. I think what we did was we went out and found a guy who would fit in the region, who would bring together a good staff, who him and I could get along well. And it's obviously worked out really well. He communicates well. He delegates really well. And he's got a great mind. I think the most important thing for a head coach to do is work and put in the time. And he does. I mean, he works his ass off. And he's a very creative mind. But you have to have balance, but you also have to have that work ethic. And, Matt leads by example in that department. Nobody works harder than he does. Nobody spends more time. And it's not this bullshit, where, I was in there till 7:30 last night, and that some of this stuff gets out there. No, when he's in there, he's grinding, and he's got some good coaches on the staff to balance him out. Stenovich and Hackett, who are wound a little less tight, but he's a grinder, and he deserves a lot of the credit, and I hope he wins Coach of the Year, because that put a nice little bow on 3 incredible years.
Yeah, I think so too. And his eyebrows. I mean, you wanted to boycott him. I don't know how you could ever boycott something those things that perfect. You know what I mean? Those things properly placed right above. Like, hey, how are eyebrows supposed to look? Boom, Coach Matt LaFleur every single game.
Yeah.
Yep. It's unbelievable. Is that every day?
A lot of guys got to pay for that kind of look.
That's every day he woke up like this?
He wakes up like that, yeah.
Wow, good for him.
Good looking guy.
Hey, good for
him.
A
lot of credit to Bree, though. I mean, his wife. I've mentioned her before. A lot of credit to Bree. So many coaches, H knows this, so many coaches are, incapable of doing just about any task other than coaching football. And that's why you got to have a, studette wife behind behind some of these guys to help them out.
So you're saying LaFleur can't, cook, do laundry?
I'm not saying that. I just want to give Bree her due because she's an amazing woman, and being a coach's wife, I'm sure, is pretty tough. But I know she probably dresses him. She probably is the one that plucks his eyebrows. So big kudos to Bree.
Hey, shout out to Bree. Shout out, Bree. You're doing a great job. Hey, you're on display in front of 27 million people, every time. Her work is seen by a lot of people. She's crushing it. Go ahead, Ty.
Aaron, you kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier with the tempo increasing as the weeks go on. Now that you're in the playoffs, does your preparation or like how you're going to prepare for games, does that change at all or not really?
No, I don't think it should. It's kind of the answer after week one. When the big freak out happened, what's going on? You guys are going to be the shits this year. And it's like, if the preparation isn't good enough when shit hits the fan, it's never going to be good enough. And if the preparation has to change, now we're in the playoffs, now we really got to fucking amp this shit up, then you're probably not preparing the right way. So it stays the same. I think the tempo naturally just picks up a little bit. And I think that's just due to every team is now good. It's the NFL, so there's great players on every team. But the teams that are left, and when we play, there'll be 8 teams left in the divisional round, 4 on each side. It'll be the best of the best. And when you're playing against the best of the best, naturally, the tempo picks up, the urgency picks up. The difference between winning and losing shrinks even farther. And I think it's just natural progression. But as far as preparation goes and the approach, you have to use what got you there. And if you're not, then you're admitting without admitting that you're freaking out, and we're not going to freak out in Green Bay.
Hell yeah.
How do you do that though for the playoffs when it seems like you're smiling, having fun, you've been doing it forever, but maybe some young guys that don't have as much experience, how do you make it to where they understand how important it is, but you don't we're holding on too tight, we're not playing like we did all year?
That's a great media question from you, AJ. Thanks for asking.
Hey, boy, AJ!
Thank you for the misinformation you've been spreading on this program.
Well, not on this program. Please. Jesus.
It pales in comparison to the disinformation that people have been spreading about me.
Ooh.
Big difference. Disinformation and misinformation let you look that wrong. But I think you have to remind these guys.
Are we back in it?
You have to remind these guys the importance of preparation, the importance that this is win or go home. But then you just have to model. You have to model what, confidence looks like, model what a lack of freaking out looks like, model what stability and consistency looks like. And if you haven't, our guys, our best leaders have been doing that all season long. You don't ride this roller coaster wave. You try and be the same guy day in and day out. You try and be consistent. You try and look for opportunities to lead and to speak up, and just remind guys, if they're lacking in confidence or the anxiety's picking up, just look at me, look at Devontae, look at Big Dog, look at the Big Giraffe, look at Kenny Clark and Smash and Preston and Rasul, and look at these guys who play with that confidence, that consistency, and tap into some of that energy and refocus.
Yeah, Green Bay, is going to be quite an advantage for you guys too all the way through. Is that, obviously you expect that, you hope for it, but people having to fly into Antarctica, Wisconsin, and play against not only you in that turf in the weather, but those cheeseheads, oh boy.
Hell yeah.
I mean, they're going to be drunk from the Ace Hardware. Why? They're going to be shirtless with overalls. Why? Chugging brews in the freezing temperatures. Why? And then Bia's going to be in there for her 97th straight year of not missing a Green Bay Packer game. I mean, that is a massive ordeal. As you have this bye week this weekend, that has to feel pretty good that you guys aren't going to have to travel the rest of the way until you get to Los Angeles.
That feels incredible, and that's our advantage. Last year we hosted a couple of playoff games, didn't have any crowd. I didn't have our Green Bay weather. So it'd be nice to have at least one of those. This year we do. We'll have, close to 80,000 strong, and maybe we'll have some weather as well, which would be difficulty. But yeah, playing at home is a huge advantage. It is. And it's a bigger advantage with our crowd, a bigger advantage even than that with our weather. So we're gonna make the most of it. We're gonna have a good week of practice outside this week. It's been really cold. The wind chill was -8 yesterday, so we're gonna embrace the next 3 days out of practice and enjoy that, and then get ready for whatever opponent comes through this weekend. Obviously, if one of the lower seeds wins on Sunday, we'll play them. If not, we'll play the winner of the Monday night game. A couple NFC West opponents. So 3 of the 4 possibilities are all NFC West opponents. We played the NFC West this year. So have a lot of familiarity there with those teams, other than with the only team we don't is Philly. But we'll be excited about whatever team wins and gets the opportunity to come up to Green Bay, and we'll be ready for them.
You do know Coach Sirianni, though, pretty good from our show. I do recall. If you, we have Coach Sirianni every once in a while. Coach, he the only knowledge he has of your team is just of you on this show. So shout out to you, dude.
Thank you. Just a heads up, Aaron. If we do end up playing you guys, the recipe is very simple. We're going to try to run it down your throats every single play. Okay?
Is that dog mentality?
Yeah, we have dog mentality. Again, for several weeks now, I've been saying we bite, we don't bark, and we will be barking and biting if we have to come play at Lambeau in the sub-zero temperatures.
It's very cold, dogs. I don't know how you're going to be able to do it, but those dogs hunted a few years ago. They'll be able to figure it out again. Go ahead, Tone.
Aaron, what do you say to the people who actually thought 2 NFL teams were going to kneel it out so they could both get in the playoffs?
Well, they probably thought, same people that thought I was going to boycott the Super Bowl. I will tell you, it did get a little interesting there, though, right? 2-minute warning happens. Run by Vegas, no timeout. Run by Vegas, no timeout. I will say there was an article that I think his name is Bill Barnwell wrote for ESPN. That was a good article I read after the game because there were a lot of theories about what was going on, and people were blaming LA's coach Staley for calling a timeout there, even though the play clock was way down. Herm Edwards said once, I think, you play to win the game, right? I don't think anybody wanted a tie, but there were a lot of us who love football and also love, the anxious moments, who were kind of, when it was 29-14 and LA scored and got the 2-point, you started thinking, what if they tied it up? What if they went to overtime? What if it got under 5 minutes and the team was in the minus territory? What are they going to do? All kind of the scenarios that were going through their minds, because both teams knew, hey, we tie, we're both getting through. Then all the Yinzers back in Pittsburgh were losing their freaking minds, going, can somebody just win this GD game?
Yeah.
So that was exciting for sure. But I think it would have been, a real shame to see, 3 kneel downs there. And I don't necessarily – I saw there's an Austin Eckler clip about, maybe asking if they were going to kneel it down. I don't know what the reference was to, but I do know on 3rd down before the timeout, I believe that the Raiders were in the gun, probably going to run some sort of inside zone handoff with maybe an RPO opportunity, but they weren't going to take a knee in the gun. So any of those theories should be kind of wiped away and not given a whole lot of credence to. But that was a great game. I thought the throws that Herbert made were pretty amazing. I think he had a fantastic year. Big play by a former teammate of mine, Casey Hayward, in that game. And then I'm happy for Derek. I've known Derek for a long time, and I enjoy, keeping in touch with him.
Yeah, you texted him, huh? You texted him, say, go win a ball game? That's all. I didn't know you were tight with Derek Carr. I don't think any of us knew that.
Yeah, I've just enjoyed our conversations. He kind of reached out through Devontae a few years ago, and in the off season, and then we had some conversations. And I think he's a really respectful guy. I think he's been through a crazy amount of adversity this season, with what happened to John and all the moving parts. And I just sent him some encouragement before the game. Just because I do enjoy the person, and I enjoy the way that he handles his business.
Did you see him come out of the tunnel on that one side shot?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Sick.
He was humming. There's this 8K shot from the side, either running alongside of him on the other side of the tunnel, where he comes skipping out at full speed. It looks electrifying. He wins a lot of games. That Raiders team is Richie Bisaccia. Hey, how's your family? How's your family? They're in the playoffs. I think just like you on that third down play, they gain any yards. They're probably going to kick a field goal. If they get stopped there, maybe kneel it out. Maybe the game's over. But I think they had to get a stop on that play regardless, either with a timeout or without a timeout.
I mean, Staley said that he wanted to get Linval Joseph on the field, who's a big behemoth of a run stopper, and that's why he called timeout. I think if they get there, what are they at there? They're on the 41?
39.
They're on the 39-yard line?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 57, I think it would have been. That's a long ball, I guess. I mean,
they're still going to do it. If they get stuffed or maybe get a yard, they probably call timeout with a couple seconds left and kick a field goal. They make it, they're in. They miss it, they're in. This idea that they wouldn't have kicked it because of
catastrophe,
getting it blocked. Like, it's just, look, you play to win the game. I don't know. Nobody wants to be a part of that. You want to get the playoffs, of course. Nobody wants to be a part of kneeling the shit out to take a tie. I would lose my mind. You know what would make me lose my mind almost as much as that? 3rd and 9 on the -5. Oh. Let's go in goal line personnel and run a QB sneak.
Yeah, you would call timeout there. We'd audible.
Call that one in, Matt, and let's see what happens. That shit ain't flying.
Oh, that would be awesome. Fourth quarter.
Unbelievable. The breakdown that
Orlovsky
had on that was pretty amazing. So, shout out to Big Dahn.
Dane's his name. But you're right. You're 100% right. And there's an aptitude, it seems like, in a lot
Players
of
got to execute, Pat.
Well, by the way, everybody is man for man there. Hey, there's 10 on 10 there. There's 10 on 10. Quarterback's just got to make one person miss. They weren't able to do that, obviously. That is a shame. Making some space for the punt. You talking about the strategy and you're such a deep thinker. And obviously the media thing is, if this guy was to coach, he'd be a great coach. The year that Peyton was hurt, and we had Curtis Painter quarterback and Dan and who was that? Kerry Collins.
Yeah.
Kerry Collins died week 1. J.J. Watt picked him up and dumped him on his head. Kerry Collins was called out of a hunting stand in Tennessee to come play quarterback for us. And then immediately after, hey! Regretted it. Or get me the hell out of here. And then Kerry...
Hey, Kerry's a great guitar player, I believe, right?
Oh, is he? Later.
He's a singer-songwriter, I'm pretty sure.
He was a nice guy. Always had good conversations with him. We enjoyed a lot of that. But as Curtis Painter was playing quarterback, he's doing terrible, terrible, terrible. We played at Cincinnati. Peyton was there with us. On the sideline, one drive, he was looking up at the Jumbotron, and he was calling the offense. He was signaling it in to Curtis Painter the year he was out. Okay, so he was actually calling it. We go right down the fucking field. I mean, boom, 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 boom. Touchdown. I assume that's because Peyton can see and has called a game and been there, done that through that hole. You put the headset on the other day, and I saw a picture. Literally 16 seconds later, there was a touchdown. The next play, it was. Were you calling plays? What did you call? And is that something that intrigues you at all to do later in life?
No, I didn't call any plays.
Oh.
I had nothing to do with that. I just think that there's times where I had the earpiece on, and I didn't want to put the headset on until the fourth quarter, just because I wanted to give it a little bit more time until I chimed in there and just see where we're at in the fourth quarter. Matt, there was some conversation on the headset. I could feel Matt's blood pressure was rising a little bit. I can be kind of a calming force on there, I think, as I've realized in preseason at times. So fourth quarter hit, I told Pat, with the headsets, I said, "All right, it's time. Give me this thing."
Strap in.
We gotta level everybody out a little bit. But no, I didn't call any plays. I helped out in the 2-minute with some ideas, but I didn't call any plays.
You enjoy it? We doing that for in the future or what?
No, man. I'm gonna be away from the game when I'm all done.
What are you going to do? Hey, 5 years from now when you retire, what are you going to do?
10 years from now when you retire, what are you going to do?
Probably write a book.
Oh, nice.
About what? About COVID?
I'm going to write down all the crazy-ass stuff you used to do and put me through, drinking those lipids and
Come on.
ice sheets and who knows what the hell, and all the great wisdom you gave me as well. About what it's like to from Ohio and be fucking real tough.
You see it. You know about Centerville. That's right, man. What about any level? Would you coach in high school?
High school, I think, would be fun. I really do. I think what Phil's doing, that's got to be a blast because you're still a part of it. You can have a big impact on the kids. I played every level, including junior college, which is a fun level between high school and big college. But you can still have an impact on the kids. I think in college, in high school, is a lot. In college, it's a lot of times it's this weird authoritarian setup. I'm the coach, and I'm this genius, and you're just a shitbird scholarship player. Listen to me, or I can bench you and put another scholarship guy in there. High school, there's a different, and then junior college. Well, junior college was such a fun year, and I obviously had the greatest of coaches ever, probably in the history of junior college, and Craig Rigsby. Shout out to Coach Riggs, but I had a great experience. But high school, you can have a big impact on the kids, and I think what Phil's doing, he's probably having a blast coming up with plays and being able to kind of speak into those kids' lives and give them hope, and also give them a great experience, because there's nothing like high school football where you're just playing with your buddies and going to campus wearing your jersey and Friday nights. High school football is pretty special.
Okay, so retirement, you've thought about it apparently. Huh? Is that something that just happened there? You would, high school coach? You just had a pretty in-depth answer. Holy shit. I mean, you've obviously thought about this whole thing, writing a book, hopefully doing some maybe shows, talk shows.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe doing some shows with some people. You said last year, I think, that you're on the back nine or something. You understand that. Then there's always these rumors, he was thinking and contemplating this. And I don't know if that whole thing, whenever you're having this good of a year, is it even possible to think that you're never going to experience this again? You're probably in the middle of this wave. You have to put up that record of touchdown interception ratios in the history of football. Minimum 500. Literally, you have the top 6 in the history of the game when it comes to being a touchdown thrower versus giving the ball to the other team and keeping them in the game. You are playing at your absolute best right now. When you think about the future, what do you think? Do you just think, okay, if I take care of myself well enough, if I get in and I continue to do what I'm doing, I should be able to play forever, especially with the new rules that are being put into place for quarterbacks and protection? Is that your thought process? Do you ever get into it?
It's about quality of life and enjoyment. And if it's still fun and I can still play, then there's a lot more reason to play. But if it doesn't have the same type of enjoyment, if I can't mentally commit to it fully, then I think you need to think about doing something else. I don't want to be this could be my last year, this could be my retirement. I want to trust how it feels and where I am mentally. This has been a really, really fun year. I've loved so many different parts of it. I think the adversity has made it even that much sweeter because I've gotten opportunities to stand up for what I believe in and also meet people and communicate with people that I never would have actually gotten a chance to talk to. I also have got incredible support, and then being able to have all those different things coming at you and still be able to compartmentalize and go out on the field and play your best I take a lot of pride in that, for sure. And the connections with my teammates and to help inspire them, listen to them, help them with their issues, communicate my own mistakes and failures and try and help them do better. I love that. I love that opportunity to be a leader and all the other parts of my job that don't involve me going out on the field and playing on game day. But it's a commitment. I think every year is a commitment, and I think I'll know where I'm at when I see zeros on the clock in our last game this season, and take some time to contemplate and have the right conversations, and then make a decision without wasting too much time.
Hey, that confetti's going to be falling, huh?
Yeah, please don't leave.
Hey, that confetti's going to be falling. 0, 0, 0. You know what I mean? That's what we're doing. We're going on a run. Right? My team's out. Indianapolis is out. We're going on a run now, right?
We're going on a run.
Let's go!
Hey, I have one final one.
Hey, Jay!
What?
Go on,
Don't do
ladies.
that. Put that baby belt away, bro.
That's the title. Okay, belts, hold up your pants.
Stop doing that. Hey, Ben's going to send you a cease and desist for that
Stop saying
hand
that,
signal.
AJ.
Stop saying that. They
Do you
both
think,
love
Aaron,
everybody.
our guy, let's say a guy goes out and they win the Super Bowl towards the end of their career when they're old. you think they're more willing to walk away after you win a big Super Bowl like that, or if you suffer a devastating loss? Which one would cause someone to retire, I think?
It's good journalism.
Oh, I think winning probably. Winning would probably feel better, but I think that if you still can play at a high level, it's way harder to hang them up, regardless of how your last game goes, win or lose. I think if you're still playing at a really high level, that makes that decision to do it because you're thinking, we're lucky in this life if we are excellent at multiple things. I think that's true, and that's not a knock against anybody, but for most of us, we're really good at, maybe one or two things. And you think for my profession, there's a finality to it. I've been really good at this sport for a long time, but there's a finality at some point. You can't play till you're 70, so you have to start thinking about like, what else am I really good at that I'd want to keep doing or start doing more of, or that would give me the same type of enjoyment. So that obviously comes into play. But there's also the health stuff too. I mean, guys have retired still playing pretty good because of concussions or being banged up, or like Andrew, who was on the broadcast last night. I mean, he's been banged up for like 3 or 4 straight years, Andrew Luck, and that takes a toll on you. So if you can be healthy and win and still be able to play, that makes it really, really tough to move on. I think if you're banged up, you're tired of being sore and rehab, and you're worried about head injuries or cognitive brain function down the line, or CTE, or getting multiple, fake knees and hips and different things. If you keep on going, then that would impact you. But if you can still play and mentally commit 100% to it, then it makes that decision, regardless of win or loss in your last game, it makes that decision, probably a lot easier.
We're excited to see you figure out your own happiness, pal. The world awaits, obviously, as this playoff run that goes through Lambeau shall be electrifying. It's a bye week, so there's no book, obviously. We hope everybody decides to read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by old Mark Manson. This is last week's book, and all the books beforehand. What's that?
What was the title of that?
Yeah, it looks like you just held up a book there real quick.
Oh, you have a book?
I was looking at the old. This is not a part of the book club. But,
whoa. I think it's kind of a book club.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did not know this was going to happen. It is a postseason first round bye book of the Aaron Rodgers book club. Remember all the way back. This thing started with The Alchemist. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck was last week. There was a couple Bible-length books in between. And now, the first playoff book of the Aaron Rodgers book club is...
This is a bye week. I said we're not doing it. I was going to queue up AJ because AJ said he had a book. So
nobody's going to listen to AJ Hawk's book.
No way.
This is not, no way is that something.
Not my club, man. This is all your thing.
The Aaron Hawk Book Club. Aaron James Hawk addition to the book club.
Oh, guest picker.
How many books do you think in your book club have you actually read?
In my book club?
That you have put out. How many of these 17, 18 books have you actually read, not just looked at the cover?
I've read all the books in my book club.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. I believe you.
What is this guy's problem, Aaron?
A lot of books. I'm not
this
sure.
stupid narrative. I haven't read these books.
Well,
you need to.
I was just asking, bro. Stop being so sensitive about it.
You guys okay?
You guys want to talk about it?
You guys want to talk out loud? You have read the books.
Aaron and John Kuhn like to argue about who's more sensitive.
Oh, let's talk about John Kuhn. You saw John Kuhn on the sideline. He pointed across the field, and you did a kicking motion. Is that old friends? It was like it felt like a preseason game almost there for a little bit.
I'm just trying to give John a little shine. He gets a little upset if he's not on camera on a big Fox, big Fox camera every now and then. But no, we were running. It was halftime, right? There's 5 seconds on the clock. They kicked a short field goal, and some of the guys took off. And I realized there was 2 on the game clock still. Nate Weir, a longtime trainer, he was fucking out. He sprinted, and he got to the end zone before he realized there's nobody else behind him. So I was kind of over there, and I saw Johnny standing there. Johnny does our sideline reporting for the radio network, and the guy that does it for the Lions is TJ Lang, old teammate of ours. one of the toughest dudes I've ever been on the field with. Also, one of the biggest, stoutest heads in the whole business. And so I was asking Johnny where Tej was, because sometimes they'll be on the same sideline from time to time, and so we were laughing about where big TJ was.
Is that something that the Packers look for? Hey, do you have an enormous cranium? All right, we got AJ, we got Kuhn. Hey, you see his TJ Lang fucking head?
Mm-hmm.
Get that guy in our building. All right, let's grab. Hey, Bakhtiar, you seen this thing?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a gate that he looks like he bring that massive, gigantic head into Green Bay. You think that's something?
I think back when Mike was with us, he wanted some fighters too. And, TJ is an old-time bar fighter. So he had those big old meat hooks, and I think it was a no-brainer. You see this big dude with a big old melon and great jawline with some big old meat hooks who doesn't mind scrapping at a bar every now and then. That's the kind of guy that Mike wanted.
Hey, that's a Yinzer through and through. We appreciate that. TJ Lang, also hilarious on Twitter. Deserves a lot more followers than he actually gets. Ladies and gentlemen, first round bye, but the Aaron Rodgers Tuesday delivered yet again. We appreciate you. What's the shirt? I saw this sick hat from MVS. What's the shirt?
You never seen Caddyshack?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Carl the Greenskeeper.
Oh, Bill Murray.
Can't believe it. You didn't know that.
Well, let's get the guitar out. Let's sing about it, dude. Let's sing about it.
Let's think about it a little bit. Sing about our old friend Bill Murray.
Still alive, but deserves to be honored for sure.
Bear down.
Yep. Go ahead.
All right.
TJ just texted me. He's probably mad I mentioned maybe the size of his head, but big shout out to TJ Lang. You know what I mean? Setting that jaw, keep punching. That's his motto.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you. We got to get to a break. Classic. That was a good convo.
Yeah.